so. Last December, we had a tribal member killed in Custer County law enforcement. And that ain't the first time. Just the year before that, we had another tribal member killed. And in both cases, it was the family members going to these law enforcement agencies to seek help for their relations who had mental problems. Friday night, the Oklahoma Sheriff's Association awarded 2 Medals of Valor to 2 of those deputies who killed our young tribal member. And, you know, they had the nerve to actually post some of their awards on Facebook, and they had some really rude comments about our young man who was killed. Now, I know we've had a resolution in support of this family, but what else have we done? I mean, we used to have a law enforcement, our own law enforcement, and that got, you know, dismantled and taken over by the BIA. Now we're under a BIA law enforcement, and my opinion of that is, you know, I think we need to go back to our own law enforcement, because it seems like in this area, this Custer County, the solution to our problems for their law enforcement officers is to shoot us. So I talked to Mr. Goodblanket months before, and I asked him, if we had our own law enforcement, would you call them first? Because the attitude of the law enforcement, of some of the law enforcement agencies in this county, is pretty atrocious. I have relatives and friends that live there, and they can attest to the way they are treated by law enforcement agencies. So my question to you is, are you going to do anything about it? Maybe a complaint to the Department of Justice, support the family, because the mother of the victim says that basically she's not getting any kind of support or help from her own government.
Well, it's unfortunate these incidents happen. I feel for the family. We talked to both the mother and father after this all happened as well, and you know it's sad because of the way our people are being treated. The young man that was dealt in the same way earlier that year was from Thomas. You know, I knew him. I knew him growing up. You know, to see him as a result of that, you know, it really just made me sick of how our people are being treated like that. As you can see, in comparison to look at Ferguson, Missouri, you know, how that happened, how people are reacting to that. Cheyennes and Arapahoes, you know, we have kind of a little bit more, not that kind of demeanor on these instances. You know, it's frustrating, but you know, we're right there with the family. You know, we would like to see action happen. It is kind of it's, you know, in some ways we haven't really had governments that really step into these cities and actually try to foster some sort of relationship with them to where we can actually have a better relationship with them. So that's what we want to do, is approach the city to try to hope to establish something of that realm as well. You talked about the tribe having a police unit or police station themselves that, like I said, dissolved. And luckily, we haven't had that because of the leadership dispute of how that would turn out. You know, it's been so chaotic just without them. You know that.
Yeah, but hasn't that been unlucky? Very much unlucky for the families.
Well, yeah, in those cases, if you actually try to go to those local law enforcement and hopefully get the protection and service that you would get, that's, you know, for everybody in the community. But hopefully we can move forward and pass and hopefully establish a law enforcement with the right approach, that they can't be abused from leaderships. You know, they're there to protect and serve our people, to be there for our people. So we would like to see, but we need to establish some sort of laws and preventions of it to be somewhat abused down the road, because, you know, if we're here for 4 years or whatever, what's going to come next? Are we going to have other people with that kind of mentality of dictatorship and stuff that's going to come in and actually make sure that the law enforcement arrests all these types of people that are against it just for no reason? You know, that's what we kind of need to look at as well.
Do you have any kind of time frame to where maybe you might think about establishing that or getting a commission to look at it?
Well, it'd be nice to actually get past the whole point of leadership dispute, because currently the BIA doesn't recognize us as well. But
we're supposedly a sovereign nation. We don't need BIA's approval or disapproval.
But you look at, you know as well as I do, people that you've been supporting throughout these years that they've been relying upon IBI to make the decision that it's going to go in their favor, and once it happens, then what's going to happen to everybody else? You know, but if we can get past this point of BIA actually making these decisions, actually letting us run the government the way that it should be by sovereignty and for our own reasons, then maybe we can actually establish and get those grants back to make it to where it'll be worth our while.
What do you think of the job performance of our current BIA Chief of Police, Mark Cody?
I haven't had too much contact with him. Maybe the last few years when we had the break-ins and all that kind of, you know, stance, you know. That's kind of where I've had some relationship with him, just general talks and stuff, but nothing detail or deep. So I can't really say that we have some sort of rapport. I just know that he's, you know, taking orders and following as well.
Would you support changing him out and getting a different chief of police? That's one of the things that have been discussed. Is his?
I haven't heard that discussion.
Well, he was almost reassigned a while back, but he managed to stay on. But a few others did get reassigned, and there's the talk again is we need to get rid of him and get somebody who's actually going to do their job instead of you know, you out here over and over.
You're probably come up with the same results because ultimately you look at chain of command and how they take orders. I mean, it's just part of what, you know, organizations do. You know, that there's that chain of command. There's the orders they're supposed to be following, how to proceed with laws and regulations.
It seems like if we keep talking about we got all this millions and extra millions and millions of dollars, why don't we get our own force to where our people can call our own instead of depending on these outside agencies, because their solution is to put a bullet in us.
Well, like I said, we'll be looking forward to many discussions and trying to establish that in the future, but it's going to take, you know, who's going to recognize how we're going to be able to establish that. So there's procedures that have to go with that as well.
Okay. In the meantime, what can the executive branch do to help these families? I know they're mounting a campaign to try to get justice for the loved ones who were killed. And from what I've heard, they're really not getting any support from the tribal government. Can we do more?
I think there's been some support.
Well, I know there was a resolution passed, but, you know, big deal. That's words on paper. You know, they need funds for lawyers. They need you, the executive branch, to stand by them. Maybe you have much more clout when you talk to, like, say, the Attorney General of the United States, Eric Kohler, or Department of Justice, or ask for an investigation, which is what they want. You know, they cleared themselves of any wrongdoing and killing these tribal members, and then they have the nerve to give themselves medals of valor.
Yeah, let's see.
So that should be
in regards to working with the Good Blanket family. You know, we've done our best to provide as much services as we could. You know, as far as providing services to go travel for them to bring awareness. I know we've done that a little bit. We've also attended one of their peace rallies. I know they want to have more participation from us. So I think it's definitely, this last rally, it was during the ceremonies in the summer, so none of us were able to make it. We're at the office, or some of us were on travel. So the support's there. I have Melissa's number. You know, she calls me directly when she ever needs anything. I know that, we need outreach a little bit more, but, our services are there, and we're always willing to support. We've made that I think we've made it very clear, and I guess we need to make it more clear, because we will support their family as well as the other families that go through this type of tragedy. So the support's there, and so I'm not sure if they're directly telling you that. So we want to make sure that we'll outreach to them again. There's we've done a little bit. We could do more, yes, but no support. We've been to some of their things, so I know they've been wanting to do more things with the help of the legislature as well as Eddie and Cornell. So I think it definitely takes a process, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So including that as well. So that's definitely that's the side from us. We have some support in some instances.
Rosemary, we posted their stories and
yes.
their rallies and stuff.
We're running the ad for the next campaign rally, the next peaceful rally, September 26th at the South Lawn. Eddie and I know Chris and I have had many conversations about the well-being of the Good Blanket family. I just this morning contacted instances of where racial profiling and the killing of young children, young adults, Mahavis, 18 years old. I've sent them the whole story, so reaching out as far, and I tell you, what is sad, Pete, is the only reason why Ferguson, Missouri went national is because they decided to bust up businesses, break things, steal things, and harm other individuals. Otherwise, that shooting of that young man would have never made it to the television. So we, as tribal members, conduct ourselves with dignity and grace. And Melissa is the epitome of dignity. And yes, I am sure Eddie or Cornell or Chris will be at that rally September 26th. I know Chris spoke at the last one in full support of the Good Blanket family. And I've been very proud of the way they have supported it, personally. Sorry.
Back to the issue of the awarding of the Medals of Valor to two of those involved in this killing. Would you perhaps make a statement to maybe the Oklahoma Sheriff's Association denouncing that, or make any kind of anything on record? Because that's kind of a slap in the face to us as a whole tribe. You know, they kill one of our tribal members and then give them a medal for it. I mean, this is like 100 years ago, when the U.S. Army used to come and massacre our men, women, and children and then give themselves medals for it. And here it is, you know, here till 2014, and it's still happening.
I can look into it and tell you exactly what it would say, or if we even go to those realms, but